Action.
Action. Did you ever hear that song, that weird, I love the nightlife, I've got to boogie on the disco. Rah! Like she says, I want some action. Like she says it like that.
Did you see that?
Did you just take a photo?
No, I just saw the thing go. I don't even have my hand on the keyboard. It said something. It says aliens are trying to communicate with you at this moment. Please hold.
Hold for transmission. No, we got to record an episode. We can't deal with aliens right now.
Welcome to Scary Mystery Surprise,
where we talk about scary things that surprised us around the internet.
I'm Edwin.
I'm Michelle.
This thing was creepy to read.
I'm pretty excited. I didn't know how we were going to do this as an episode, so this is an experiment. As we all know, children are born sensitive to the supernatural. You know, they stare into space a little bit more.
They reach for things that are just like, what? What are you reaching for?
Which honestly really is the perfect way to freak your parents out.
Crib cams or whatever. Super creepy stuff that I've seen. What are you reaching for? Who's going to pick you up in the dark?
Yeah, who are you laughing at? But anyway, this is one of my favorite things. There is this legendary post from Reddit that's over 9 or 10 years old, and it has 14.3 thousand comments. And it's just titled, Parents of Reddit, what is the creepiest thing your young child has ever said to you? And it's posted originally by Dr. Handjob, which I thought that username was hilarious and strange to be associated with something about parenting, but they might not be the original poster. Who knows?
Thank you, Dr. Handjob. We owe this to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Handjob of 10 years ago. But this thread is one of my favorite things. And, you know, maybe we'll post the link or something because you could spend like hours just going down this thread.
It's like a weeks long, months, you know, you have enough content.
It's such good, freaky stuff. And I was like, how do we do this as an episode? And Edwin and I talked about it, and it was like, if we pick our favorites, what if we double up on accident? We didn't know what to do. So I recruited some help from a true skeptic, my friend, Zoë Klar. Oh, yes.
Hello.
It's working.
It worked?
Yes.
Oh, great.
God. Just like when things work, it's just like so horny, you know? Like when things...
Sure.
You might know her from TikTok or co-hosting her own comedy podcast, The Bad Boy Pod. Have you ever heard of the thread that's creepy things kids say to their parents? Have you ever read that thread?
No, I haven't.
We need someone to pick out 5 of the weirdest ones for each of us.
Okay, so 10.
Yeah, so 10. And then we thought it would be funny if someone else picked them out for us. And I was like, you know, Zoe's like a non-believer. She's like,
It's true, I don't believe. Are these like ghosts or like there's something in the basement or just...
You know, like one of the classic ones is like a child holding their parent's face being like, you're gonna die.
Okay. Well, I mean, maybe the kid was planning on killing his parents and that's not a psychic at all.
Yeah, I'll send you the link, and we just need 10 of them, and we'll probably use this as like a little intro to introduce who you are too.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, cool. I could read Reddit. I mean, I do it anyway. Usually, it's not creepy things children say. So you want me to pick like the weirdest ones, the funniest ones, the spookiest ones? All of that. Okay.
Yeah, all of the above. Yeah, all of the above. Like, find creepy, find funny, find all of it. Like, it's a fun thread to read.
Oh, yeah, you gotta be shocked by these children.
I will send you that link over.
Sweet. I'll click it.
She clicked it, and she picked out 10 for us. And she sent 5 to Edwin and 5 to me. Edwin and I have read our own, but we're going to share these creepy stories with each other for the first time today.
Yep, we've been saving it.
I know, we've been saving it.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's true. Like these threads, I just love it. I mean, do you believe in reincarnation, Edwin?
I do, based on the stories that I've read, yes. I would say it happens, yes.
Yeah, I think so too. And even, I don't know, it's speculated that even like that light when you die, you see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's actually just you being rebirthed out into the world. Like you're shooting right out of your mom's vagina right after you die. You're shooting out of your next mom's vagina.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah.
Thank you. It's very elegant and poetic, I think. You just shot right out of your mom's vagina, fluids and all.
Like a water slide.
And into your next life. But also, it's said that you retain the memories of your past life till you're about like 3 to 5. So you have like memories of that time up until you're about 5 as your new life finally settles in. So that's one of the speculative things about like why kids seem to know stuff that they're not supposed to know. Well, do you want to start or should I?
Well, I could start. This is really creepy. Okay, this is like a paragraph. Super short paragraph, but this is what Zoe sent me. My kid's Catholic school is over 100 years old. There is a basement under the gym that's used for storage. I was subbing once, and during recess, one of the kickballs goes down the stairs. A little girl was standing at top of the stairs yelling, "Just throw it up to me." I went over and asked who she was talking to, and she replied, "That big man down the stairs." I went down, and there was nobody down there, and it was the only way in.
Oh, no!
I asked some of the other kids if they have seen the man before, and they said yes, but Sister told us not to talk to him. I asked them to describe Sister, and they described a nun, and there haven't been nuns at the school in over 40 years.
Jesus Christ.
What?
That's like a whole playground of children being like, "Oh yeah, Sister."
What is that? What?
Do you just quit your job, do you think?
Like, how would you explain that to a kid?
I'd have to like wrap my own brain around it where it's, okay, as long as Sister's giving like sound advice, don't do anything crazy. Listen to your own internal voice first. And then, okay, don't talk to him. Don't talk to the man if Sister says no.
I think the man obviously here sounds like somebody that's not good.
Yeah, not good.
Not a good entity. Or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think like my investigative self would be like, can you draw Sister for me or whatever? Can you tell me what other... And I would make like a whole thing about it. Just interview them on their own.
Yeah, you want info. You want info about Sister. You want the facts. Like you'd go, okay, this is what she looked like. Were there any nuns that died at the school during this time? Is it Sister Hortense?
When was the first time you saw her? Does she look old? I would try to verify that.
That is smart.
Super creepy. But would I quit? Depends. It depends.
If you were already burnt out at your job and then you had that happen, you'd be like, this is it. Like, they didn't give us a raise. Yeah, like, they didn't give us a raise this year. I quit. I'm not dealing with the ghosts of a nun and a weird man in the basement. I'm just not. It's beyond my pay grade. I'm out of here.
Yeah, man. You gotta pay them more.
Yeah, pay your teachers.
Oh, I guess this person was subbing, right?
Oh, they were a sub.
I feel bad for subs.
I don't know why that makes it more creepy. It's because she could disappear and no one would ever know, I guess, because she's a sub.
And then again, that gives you permission to just be weird. You know, I always had weird subs. Like, always.
Oh, yeah.
One time we tricked them saying nobody in our class spoke English. We lied.
Dicks. Oh, my God.
But they deserved it. That sub deserved it. Even though he was right that we did speak English, he was right. The way he said it, he was just mean. So we're like, we just doubled down on it. And he complained. But that was it. We were just like, he was weird. I don't think we ever saw him again.
So here's another one that Zoe picked. While not something my own child has said, my younger cousin, around 5 at the time, once drew a picture of a black monster, looked up at me and said, He told me to draw this. He's coming for you. You better hide.
What? I would hide. What? Imagine. Do you have an image of that by any chance? Or no?
No, there's no image.
Okay. You can tell it to go to hell.
Your scary monster can't beat me. I'm your mom.
I'm the scary monster.
I'm the only scary monster here. Ah!
I remember my teacher in 3rd grade and 2nd grade used to say that she had eyes in the back of her head. I believed it, which...
What if one day she was working on the chalkboard and then they just blinked, awake?
No.
The joy of having them just blink open and then shut again, and it just looks like the back of her head. Ooh, just a scare.
That's a good idea. Just get some fake eyes and
yes,
cover them with your hair, and then you're talking and all of a sudden you're like, oh, you don't believe me that I have eyes? I'm going to show you guys for just 1 second. There it is, and that's it. Oh, that would get me. That would get me. Teachers out there, please do that. Please do that. And then...
We want to hear how scared all those kids were.
Record. I just want to hear the screams. So sinister.
So sinister. Do you want to give us another one?
Yeah, this one's short. It just says, when I was 8, I asked my mother what it was like to die. And when she told me she didn't know, I told her not to worry, because I'd find out when I was 21.
Oh!
What?
Christ. You know what I appreciate is that with all these stories, you just kind of see the parent being like, okay, that's pretty weird.
I wonder if they made it past 21.
We'll never know if they made it to 22.
Do you ever wonder, Michelle?
What?
There was this site that I used to go to when I was a kid. It was really sinister and dark, and it said, when are you going to die or something. It was like...
Oh, I think I vaguely remember it.
Back in the E-Bombs world.
And it gave you an estimate of when you'd die or something like that.
Yeah, there was that site, and it said how I was going to die and when. And it always stuck with me.
What did it say?
I don't remember the exact, but it stuck with me the way that it said it. It just said, you're driving in a car and you don't look to your whatever, and then that's it. Next thing you know, everything goes dark. It's just the way it said it.
Yeah.
You don't look, and it's a super short sentence or 2 sentences, and it's just you don't look, and suddenly everything goes dark, and your hands are the last to go cold. And something like that. And it was just so vivid that I was like, oh, okay.
No thanks, I'm too sensitive of a kid to read this.
Yeah. And you would get a countdown, Michelle. You would get a countdown.
When was your countdown?
I don't remember, but it said years on it, so I was happy about that.
Oh, well, that's
good. It was so-and-so years, and then it goes down to the second, and it's ticking, and you're like, this is taking it too far. Plus, I was 8?
Yeah, nope.
I'm discovering so many things through this, Michelle.
Really, you could have saved yourself by never learning to drive.
Maybe never be in a car.
Never be in a car, ever. Which would be very hard in the city that we live in. Very hard.
I don't know. It's creepy. It's creepy. Thought about, the question was do you ever wonder how you're going to go? I don't know. It's just...
What's happening? What's happening? Our energy got so down. I don't know what happened. Okay, here's my next one. This is one about reincarnation because we mentioned it earlier. One of the common things is really young children remembering past lives. I used to not buy that at all, but now I'm not sure. A kid up the block who's only 5 remembered a past life where he claimed his house caught on fire and he died when he was a teenager. Sure enough, a little digging, we found the story and he was able to tell us things that we could only find on the public library microfilm.
What? What?
I don't know. That's all it says.
Oh, what a cliffhanger.
It's just, that's it. It's just, I don't know what else said. He had secrets. He had teenage secrets from his previous life.
Oh, man. Okay, this one has an image that was sent. Zoe sent us an image accompanying this thing. It says, I walked past my 4-year-old son's room. I noticed his back was to me and he had a paper bag over his head.
Oh, God.
He slowly turned to face me.
No.
And in a chilling voice, he said, I know you are looking at me. And then it says, I totally had to grab my camera and take a picture. And I have a picture. Now, if I can...
For our listeners, this child has cut 2 round eyes and then just a weird smiley face. I mean, it's just 2 holes and then a half-moon mouth. And he's in his pajama bottoms and a black t-shirt, just sitting cross-legged on his bed. If he's not possessed, I don't know who is.
Yep. I'm telling you, kids. I don't know why people have kids. Just kidding.
I mean, this thread should be given out for, like, parent planning. And here is this Reddit thread to make sure you know what is coming, is that you're inviting a paranormal beacon into your home. So just be ready.
When you get married in the Catholic Church, you have to go to school, like marriage school, or what's it called? I don't know what it's called.
Like some sort of counseling, or if they just gave this as like a packet, you know, when you're family planning. I just think maybe some people would have some thoughts. I think some second thoughts would be had. Like
the textbook cover would be this little kid, this kid's image.
Yes, that would be exactly it. It's like what to expect when you're expecting, and then that book, and then that picture.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So creepy still.
I think it goes into the category of like...
Why?
Like, why are you doing this? But okay, whatever. I can handle this. This isn't too scary. Unlike this one. About a week after moving our 2-year-old up into her own room, my wife and I were playing with her, and she says, Cedric comes out to play with me when I go to bed. My wife asks her where he comes from, and she says, from over in the corner. I had recently walled off a lower section of the room, slanted ceilings, that used to have a creepy 3-foot-tall door in it, and she was pointing right to where the door used to be.
What? Okay.
Cedric likes to come out and play.
I'm telling you, it reaches that point where you just... Is this a coincidence?
I don't think so. This is a compilation list of paranormal things that people don't even like. It becomes just a weird story that you tell, right? You'd never say it was paranormal. You'd be like, oh yeah, she used to have an imaginary friend called Cedric when she was 2 years old. But also, it's
creepy. I don't know if you've ever heard little kids say or talk about their imaginary friends, but it's a weird experience because you don't know if they're playing around with you or if it's real. Like my little cousin, she used to talk to herself a lot. Like she was an only child, and she would go and she learned how to play by herself, playing her own toys, talk to herself, draw on her own and say what she was drawing, read out loud. Like this is things that she used to do. At one point, she was just talking what looked like into the corner of the room, but she was like really excitedly talking, just like, you know, and this and that, and then kind of waving her arms and talking. So I just jokingly said, who are you talking to? And she said, oh, talking to, and then she said a name. I forgot what name it was. And I was like, who's that? It's like, him. And then she just pointed to like nothing. And I was like, all right. And I just left. And that was my reaction.
I imagine that's pretty much the standard reaction to every single one of these stories. Just like, oh.
All right.
Okay. Okay. I'll see you later.
I'm going to go grab my coffee.
Yeah. And enjoy that conversation.
I don't know why, but I found this on Scary Mommy, the mom blog. I guess it makes sense, right, for parenting. My coworker's 4-year-old daughter always thought that the rattling of the water pipes in the kitchen cupboards were white wolves, and the sound always scared her. One day, she was sitting at the kitchen table, and she said, Mom, the white wolves aren't bad. They're our friends. Her mom encouraged the idea by saying, yes, the white wolves are protecting us. They are our friends. And then the daughter added in, they're our friends, but not the man who crawls on the floor and stands by my bed.
No!
What in the world is this?
Crawls on the floor. Oh no. Oh God, that's so terrifying. That's so terrifying.
That would creep me out.
Oh, it gave me some chills.
And it was such a good conversation first. Yeah, they were friends. You don't need to be afraid. It's like, yeah, but not this guy.
No, that reminds me of when I was a little kid. I'd hear footsteps. Like when I was getting ready for school, I'd hear footsteps on the roof. And I'd run out of my room and I'd be like, it's so scary. And then by the time an adult came back, they'd have stopped. And it was driving me crazy because it was every single morning. And everyone was gaslighting me, being like, hey, what are you talking about? It's not happening. And then it turned out it was my dad's punching bag when he'd pull the car out of the garage because my room was over the garage. And so his punching bag would creak and it sounded like footsteps on the roof. But it took me years. And the fact that my whole family was so unsupportive about me hearing footsteps on the roof was, we still have some baggage. We still have some baggage about that.
I don't know why parents do that. I don't know. I think I would believe if your kid told you, hey, I just saw a ghost standing by this or whatever. Would you believe them?
I think so. I'd probably ask questions like you were saying earlier. I wouldn't be like, no, you didn't. I'd never do that. But I'd ask some questions and be like, oh, interesting. Because also I'd be like, is this ghost crawling on the floor and standing next to you? Because that's like
I just got chills.
That's an I have to do something ghost. Like a lot of these ghosts that we've talked about are like, oh, that's just weird information. That's fine. Okay, you're talking to Cedric at night, or you have to play with Cedric at night. Okay, that's weird, but okay, you don't seem bothered by it.
Not a big deal.
But the guy that crawls on the floor and stands by your bed, like as a parent, you'd be like, oh, I have to figure out what's going on. Like I really have to.
Just another day being a parent.
Just another day. I gotta fight a ghost.
Find some advice on mom blogs.
Yeah, on mom blogs about fighting ghosts that are bothering your children. Typical. Okay, this is my final one. While changing my daughter in front of the open closet door, she kept looking around me and laughing. And I asked her what was so funny. She said, the man. To which I replied, what man? She then pointed at the closet and said, the man with the snake neck. I turned around and nothing was there. I'm afraid to look into the history of the house to see if anyone hung themselves in the closet. At least she wasn't scared.
With the snake neck.
The snake neck. See, that's another example of... That's a weird thing to say, but I don't have to do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to... this mother doesn't have to do shit about the guy with the snake neck because she's not bothered by it, but...
What? That would...
I mean, I'd definitely, maybe lock that closet. I think maybe I'd lock that closet.
And apparently the snake neck is funny.
I guess he's funny, which I don't understand. And also, it's interesting that she just guessed that it was someone who hung themselves. But I like to imagine the man with the snake neck as like a man in a suit with a snake neck. Like maybe a snake in a suit. How
long is his neck, by the way? When
like maybe arm's length, and he can go like this, and the head comes in, and he does his little tongue.
Okay. So you imagined it the cool way. I imagined it like his head was so tilted that it was just slanting down over his shoulder.
Oh, interesting. I guess I'm going more non-human entity, which also is scary. It's definitely scary.
You have an interesting way of imagining things, Michelle.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just a snake in a suit.
Oh, I skipped one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, I skipped the Mr. Rand one.
Oh, do it.
Okay, it says backstory time. When I was a kid, Mr. Rand used to come into my room 4 or 5 times a week. He'd talk to me and tell me about stuff and how he was killed in World War II. See, old mate Rand was a figment of my 4-year-old imagination. Anyway, one day when I was 9 or so, Mr. Rand stopped showing up. Fast forward to about 3 years ago, and my son, who is about 5 at the time,
oh no,
walks out of his room one night at about 11:30 and says, "There's a man in his room." I flip out and run in his room and find nobody, to which he then says, "Mr. Rand said you can't see him anymore, but he's okay." The kid's got his own imaginary mate called Mr. Rand, but they only chat once or twice a year.
Oh, that gave me chills.
Yeah,
that
that's
gave
a creepy
me
story.
crazy chills. Oh.
That is one creepy story.
I think Zoe did a pretty good job for being a non-believer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She picked some pretty good stories.
I think she's lying. I think she is a believer. I think she at least finds it interesting. And
I think so too, to a point, or at least she can humor me. She humors me on a lot of my whims. And I was like, "Well, are you a believer after reading this post? It's pretty weird, right?" And she's, "Yeah, it's weird."
Maybe we should take Zoe out on a ghost hunt.
I know. We should take her out on a ghost hunt just to try and convince her. And we never will. I guarantee you, she'll never. We could put a ghost right in front of her, and she'd be like, "It's a hallucination."
Maybe we should
And
try
she might
that,
be right.
Michelle.
And she might be right. That's the thing. We might just be hallucinating. Who knows?
It's true. Still, it makes me wonder if this is Mr. Rand one. Makes me wonder if it's a ghost like that showed up to him,
Right.
and now because he was like, "Oh, I don't see Mr. Rand anymore," now spreading that message of, "Hey, I'm still here. I'm all right. Just let him know."
It's like chills, but then it's also like warm and fuzzy too, because I don't know, your ghost is still hanging out. Your good ghost is still hanging out, not like...
It's a really good story. It's a really good story. I might come up with something based on a similar thing from this. This is such a cool, creepy / wow, did this really happen?
Yeah, I love these. That thread, man. Yeah, I just think it's fascinating. I love it. I loved all the stories Zoe picked. Thank you, Zoe, for picking all those
Thank you,
stories
Zoe.
for us. You are the best.
Going on a ghost hunt. That'd be cool. I don't know if listeners would be interested in us actually going.
I know, I can't tell. Listeners, if you'd want to hear us go on a ghost hunt, which might result in nothing, I just want to say that because a lot of those shows make it look like they found something in every location that they found, but they don't always do that. So
Nope.
basically, it could just be us in a location
Freaking out.
and freaking ourselves out with no evidence, nothing happening. So just be aware if you actually want that or not. Think about it. We're happy to do it, but think about it. Because we don't know how good of podcasting it would be. We have no idea if it would be good podcast, good tape or not.
It's just audios and we're like, "You guys, you can't see this, but there's this huge ghost right in front of me right now. Too bad you can't hear him." I mean, you can't see him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm down. If the people want it, if the people speak and they want it, I'm glad to do it. Yeah. Be sure to, we've been getting some good tips lately. Be sure to send us your ideas. We're putting them on the list. We don't know when those episodes will come out, but we are putting them on the list. So just because it doesn't come out right away doesn't mean we're not doing it. Just FYI.
Yeah.
So send us your ideas.
Let us know. I want to get a bunch more ideas. We have getting those categories of there's places, right? People recommend places, but there's also just weird, creepy events that I think we're missing. Like we need to.
Oh yeah, some more creepy events would be great.
Ideally, I don't know about you, Michelle, but ideally, what I like is like those local type of creepy things that are just like they say that in this house in this town.
Mm-hmm.
A weird noise comes out and everybody's heard about it and stuff like something that's like very
community folk legend, community spooky legend. Got it.
Something like that. Yeah. Community spooky legend. That'd be cool. Even though I love scary places too. So I think if we find a scary place around Los Angeles, I think we'll just go. But anyway, little kids, man, they're creepy. They're just weird little people.
That's the best way to put it. They are weird little people.
But creepy things, I don't know where they would learn that kind of thing.
Yeah, it seems to be their own brew. You know what I mean? It's like they get it from somewhere other than here. It certainly seems like that. But they could just be getting it from TV.
Yeah, a book, the weird kid at school. The older kid.
Always the weird kid at school that's telling stories that you're just like, something's wrong with his own life. Like that
All right, well, this was creepy to me because I'm around little kids often. And they say They do say weird things, but usually they make up things. Like you ask them, hey, how old are you? And they just say, I'm 125,084. And it's just, I'm 30 something. And it's just like, you're old. Did you just hear yours? Like, it's little conversations like that.
They did not hear it. They have no concept of time, which, good for them.
Again, if you have any ideas for us, we're on Instagram at Scary Mystery Surprise. Don't forget to tap follow, please, and leave us a review if you haven't already.
Oh, so what are we going to talk about next week, Edwin?
I don't know. It'll be a surprise.
I like that spin you put on it this time. Ooh, a surprise.
Ask your kids. Your kids know.
Yeah, your kids will know. Actually, your kids wrote in and had the idea, so we'll be doing their idea next week. Anyway, bye, guys.
Bye.